additions to Chapter 157 of the Code of the Village of Green Island pertaining to Section 157-40, stop intersections, to add stop signs at George Street and Clinton Street, and George Street and Bleecker Street. All interested parties may appear and be heard, dated May 8th, 2025.
Do you want to talk, or Pat? I don't know if you say anything.
Sure, I think it's pretty self-explanatory what we're trying to do here. We've been looking at different ways to mitigate speed on George Street, and we have met with the county traffic engineers and walked the corridor. We've been participating in a Vision Zero traffic study with CDRPC, and what we had come up with was to make George and Bleecker Street and George and Clinton Street four-way stops. Bleecker Street, certainly you have the school traffic and the park traffic, so there's a safety concern there, as well as at Clinton Street, we have police, fire at that intersection, which was the driving force for that location. So basically, it would just, there's currently stop signs on the side streets. This would allow us to put stop signs on George Street, and then from then on we can evaluate, you know, moving forward if any other changes are warranted. But this would be the first step in the bigger project of just controlling speed in general and traffic safety in the
And the ironic thing is, Friday night while the kids were all doing their prom pictures over in the gazebo, we had an accident at Bleecker, and it was a pretty good hit. Fortunately, both parties seemed to be okay, but I think one of the cars is total. It's pretty bent up, yeah. So I said, it's ironic this was Friday night and we're going to vote on this thing on Monday, you know. But so we'll open this up for public comment. Does the board have any questions? If not, we will close the public hearing. And next, get ready. It's the annual presentation by Maggie Alex of the MS4 program.
You all can blame Chief Sini for this beautiful TV, because now that we have it, we might as well use it, right? And this topic can be quite dry. So I figured if I at least show some pictures every couple slides, it'll keep you awake. But very briefly, the MS4 permit update, which is an annual update we're required to do through the MS4 permit. And for those of you that are not aware, MS4 stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Systems. So what is an MS4? An MS4 is a publicly owned system of pipes, gutters, ditches that collects and discharges stormwater runoff. The infrastructure is different from combined sewer systems, which carries both stormwater and wastewater. The difference here is the stormwater can be discharged directly to a body of water. For us here in Green Island, it's the Hudson River, whereas in a combined system, any of that discharge goes to the Albany County Water Purification District for treatment. The stormwater typically is untreated and unpolluted, and that's what allows us to discharge into local streams, rivers, and lakes. And for us, like I said, it's the Hudson River. So why does this matter? The MS4s are subject to regulations under the EPA's Clean Water Act to control stormwater pollution and protect water quality. Our MS4 permit is regulated by New York State DEC. And why are we an MS4 community? Basically, we've been identified as an urbanized area that contains residential and commercial development that would produce concentrated stormwater flows. And given to our proximity to Hudson River, it just makes sense. So the importance of this is basically our job here is to protect the water quality. We're looking to prevent flooding and minimize population. So in how to do that, we are mandated to develop and implement a stormwater management plan. And basically what's contained within that plan are strategies, best practices, and timelines to meet all the regulatory requirements to reduce the pollution. Basically, our main goal is we're managing rainwater and snow melt So how do we do this here in Green Island? We have a few, general annual daily activities that we always partake in. One of them being inspecting and cleaning catch basins. Sometimes you'll see the debris on top of the catch basins. DPW does a great job, and we try to educate the residents to clear that off when possible, and certainly preventing people from discharging their garbage into those catch basins. We see them very full around the park areas because the kids think, sometimes they're garbage cans. But that's part of our job, is to make sure that they know that is a pollutant and we need to put that trash in the garbage cans. Street cleaning, which we do on an annual basis. Little faux pas this year, but we'll be rescheduling in the near future. Our spring cleanup at DPW, the 3 Saturdays we do in May, to encourage people to discard of their debris, garbage, gives us credits. So every time we do one of these activities, we get what are called credits, and all the credits we have go into our annual report to keep us in compliance. Right now we have 2 active construction sites, one being 147 Cannon Street, which is the warehouse on the old Friedman site, and the second site is the Factory Town site. Right now they are clearing and grading that site. So what we do is we do weekly inspections there, and we're basically making sure they're not dragging dirt and mud and rocks and everything else out into the roadway. If we do find that, we give them a call, have them come through with a sweeper. And the other thing is we want to make sure all of the construction grade work they're doing, the retaining walls, the dirt they're bringing the factory site up out of the flood zone. So that requires a lot of fill to be brought in. We're just making sure that fill doesn't end up in the Hudson River. Illicit discharge prevention and education. This is basically dumping anything other than stormwater into the river, anything other than rainwater into the catch basin. So we do illicit discharge by education. We have pamphlets that we hand out to contractors when they come and do get their building permits, and we also put it in the newsletter when we can. So how do we manage it here? We are a member of the Stormwater Coalition of Albany County, which is a huge resource. They provide us the guidance, because when I say the swamp and the stormwater permit in general is very complex, there's a lot of regulations to it. They kind of keep us on track. They keep us on a schedule of when things are due, and they provide us assistance to get those things done. Our staff internally, Department of Public Works works on this, code enforcement officers, our village engineer, and then certainly we use external engineers for site plan review and stormwater infrastructure when it comes to our bigger projects. We have intermunicipal agreements, coordinating with neighboring municipalities to share the responsibilities. We work mostly with the city of Cohoes. They'll come over and clean out our catch basins. They help us with street cleaning. Albany County Water Purification District, when they have the staff and resources, they'll do the same. It's the only way to get things done is when we work together. And certainly we encourage training. There's a training requirement, not only for the code enforcement officers, but also for zoning and planning board members and board of trustees. So the key changes in this year's permit, a new permit came out in December of 2023. They expanded the mapping requirements, which we are in full compliance right now. All of our stormwater is mapped, so we're in a good spot there. Enhance our minimum control measures, which are best management practices, which are practices that Tony keeps on file, and that's how they do certain tasks. They follow the best management practices. Updated illicit discharge detection, elimination procedures, catch basin markers. Now we don't have anything this elaborate as far as marking our catch basins, but you might see in the north end too, we have like these little circle stickers that we have from time to time put on catch basins just to remind people not to dump anything down them. Post-construction, so once the site is built out, there's still an obligation of that property owner to maintain their stormwater infrastructure. So we have to track that. And then certainly you always see little blurbs. We try to do one monthly, and yes, they are to notify the public of certain things like garbage and recycling and dog care and geese and whatever, but they also give us credit towards our MS4 education requirement. So our annual reports are filed on the village website. They're filed with the Stormwater Coalition of Albany County. You can find them at either one of those websites. I'm the Stormwater Coordinator. Lucky me. If you have any questions, let me know. Anyone have any questions?
Mag, I think you did that so good, I think the county's gonna send you around to do that presentation.
Please don't, please don't.
That's the best one I've ever seen.
Right? I thought, to spice it up a little. So next year's is gonna look very similar, I'm just gonna change the dates, okay? So just pretend you never saw it before. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. No public comment? Okay, we're good. Then we will call our meeting to order. Michelle, can we have the roll call?
Mayor McNulty Ryan.
Present.
Executive Assistant Alex.
Present.
Trustee Files. Present. Trustee Jones.
Present.
Trustee Lyota.
Present.
Trustee Carwheel.
Present.
Trustee Delapitsky.
Present.
Trustee Hepburn.
Present.
Attorney Jeffers.
Present.
I got it, Ellen.
There's nothing on? Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Kristen usually runs and does that.
That's right.
So we have nothing for public forum communications?
We have one letter dated April 14, 2025. Dear Ellen and Maggie, I would like to thank you for the opportunity and trust that has been extended to me throughout my employment with the village. As per our meeting on Monday, April 14, 2025, I would like to provide you with my written resignation as Deputy Treasurer/Clerk with the Village of Green Island and Assistant to the CFO for the IDA. My verbal resignation was provided during that meeting and established my last day to be Friday, April 25, 2025. Please know that I will always remain available to answer any questions regarding my current responsibilities, and will ensure that everything is completed as I move forward to future opportunities. Finally, thank you for the flexibility in allowing me to attend to my family in the way you have allowed me to do. With much respect and gratitude, Sheila B. Vieira.
Ordered file. I just want to say Sheila was a very valuable employee. The couple of years she was here, and we enjoyed working with her. She has another opportunity, so she resigned. So, but I do want to publicly thank her for her dedication to the village. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes for our public hearing and regular meeting on April 21st. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any corrections? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is the police activity report. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept it?
Make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is the fire department report. Everyone has a copy. And I learned just before the meeting what a doghouse organizer is. So. That's because the chief comes every month. Could I have a motion to accept the fire department report?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is the approval of claims. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? Maggie and Anthony are always very eager to answer questions. If not, could I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is this submittal of the monthly report of the treasurer. Everyone has a copy. Are there any questions? If not, could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the monthly report of the parking violations Bureau. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is consideration of appointing the following tax collectors for the 2025-2026 tax season. As you know, it was Catskill Hudson, they changed, and now it's Hudson Valley Credit Union. So, and I don't think we have an actual name of.
We don't at the moment, but we will be getting one, and we'll have to ratify that maybe at the next meeting. But in the meantime, they don't have a branch manager, so we're just gonna go with title right now, and then we'll provide a name and have to ratify that at a later date.
Okay, so it would be the branch leader of the Hudson Valley Credit Union, Michelle Bourgeois and Janice Scott, who are employees at the Village of Green Island. Could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of bids received for the water treatment plant, chemicals for 2025. Everyone has a copy. We're going with the low bidder on all of them.
Yes.
And John has signed off on it, so could I have a motion to award those bids?
Make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of a curb cut from Robert Matuzak, owner of 1 Lafayette Street. He's here this evening. Everyone has a copy. You have the diagram there, but Maggie just wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, so just for everyone's knowledge, this is the vacant lot across the street from the bowling alley. Mr. Matuzak is proposing to build a one-family residence, I believe owner occupied, which is, we always like to see, which is great. So he's requesting a curb cut on the Lafayette Street side of that lot. The only comment I wanna make, Mr. Matuzak, and we can work on this through building permit, through the building permit, is it's a total of 12 feet. So on your diagram, you have 12 feet plus 5 feet on each side for transition, which would give you a total of 22 feet. That's merely too big for that residential section because we do have commercial across the street. So we'll just work on that. We're gonna have to narrow down your transitions a little bit, but the max width would be 12 feet for the driveway, which meets our requirements for off-street parking.
She's very good to work with, so you won't have any problem.
Oh, no, she has been. And I'm very, thank you very much, Maggie.
Thank you.
So with those stipulations, could we have a motion to approve the curb cut?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. We don't have any monthly recap from GIP and DPW, so we'll have a double next month. Next under other business is our local law number 1. I really think that this is a very, very good move to make at both of these intersections. And I know the chief is happy about it, and the other chief is happy about it, so it just, especially in the Clinton Street, when those emergency vehicles have to come out, whoever's on George Street has to stop, so it should be a lot better. Does anyone have any comments or questions?
They're probably gonna put flags on them to start with.
Actually, what we're trying to do is get the ones that have the solar thing and the lights go around them.
Oh, okay, good.
Because anytime you have a change in
Oh,
the
yeah.
traffic pattern or anything like that, I remember when we put the one up at Cannon Street.
Flying through.
Everybody blowing through that all the time. They pulled over in Strizzy one day. But it was, you know, you never had to
I
stop
thought
there,
about
so
it
you
when I was
just.
driving down here tonight, I
Yeah.
thought if that was there, I would have gone right through.
Yeah, yeah, so, no, we're gonna make it as visible as possible, so, and at first, it'll be warnings, you know, so.
Is there
but-
any way that we can, like, paint the curbs again? So people know that, I mean, everybody knows you're not supposed to park up on a corner, but as we know, people park up on a corner. And if you get a van on those corners, you're not gonna see the stop sign.
Correct.
You know, if we could just get the curbs painted yellow again, they haven't been painted in years.
Yeah, so we, I've had, Shelley had brought up the same thing to me, and, it's something we're definitely looking into. I think there's some corners where we have, like bus stops, which you're not supposed to park, you know, so starting to enforce those kinds of things. We're getting mixed messages on whether the yellow is really enforceable.
Oh.
So that's where the clarification, we need to get clarification, and Chief Sini might know. But I don't wanna put you on the
I
spot.
think you have to have it posted, there's no parking in
Yeah.
the corner.
So we would have, and each sign for posting no here to corner requires a local law. So we would have to do a sign and local law for each corner. So
Yeah.
could we do it and hope that people respect it? Certainly, but I just don't know if they're parked there without the signage and the, you know, the correct legislation, you know, if we can actually enforce it.
Yeah.
So, but I think the ones that have the bus stops currently, and there's some corners where we can do a little work without going through those. But you're right, I mean, everyone's car these days are bigger, they're wider, they're tall, you know, so it does make it very difficult.
And to your point, if it's a van, and I shared this with you, there's a van that's been parked between James and whatever can't think what the cross street is, but it's been for like 3 or 4 months, and it's so dangerous, especially in the
doesn't
morning.
move?
It finally has.
Oh, I was gonna say, because the police can address
Yeah,
that. Could
she
you-
let me know, and I did send the
Yeah.
plates to them.
It just moved about a week ago, and what a difference it makes, even if it's just a regular car.
Yeah.
Because you really, it's really dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? If not, could I have a motion to pass local law number 1 for 2025?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Okay, our board forum. Number 1, I want to publicly thank Pete Louisi and Mike Alex for donating the new sidewalks down at the senior center. It looks beautiful. It's going to be so much easier to maintain in the winter time, and they did a great job on it. So I just want to express my thanks for that. Our parade is Thursday night, and they're predicting like a 70% chance of rain.
Only 70.
Yeah.
It's only 70.
Yeah, so
Plenty of time for
we're
it.
just gonna have to play it by ear.
Yes.
We've only canceled the parade one other time, and that was because severe electrical storms.
Yeah, it was lightning.
And I wanna honor our veterans too, but I would like to be alive to honor them.
Exactly.
So we're hoping everybody will show up if the weather is good, and if it isn't, we'll just send out an alert, I think, to let people know that it's canceled. And our street cleaning last week. It started out beautiful. The residents cooperated so well with putting the cars up in the Ford lot. We had over 100 cars
There
up
were a
there,
lot up
which
there.
makes our day a whole lot easier. There's 100 cars you don't have to move or ticket. And I thought, well, this is going good. And I'm coming down, and we got George Street cleared pretty good, and 2 police officers were with me, and they ticketed the cars that wouldn't move. I started on Hudson Avenue, we went all the way through Hudson Avenue. They ticketed all the cars, and then the street sweeper came down George Street, and it was leaving more than it was picking up. And I said, this isn't working. So we had to cancel the operation after all that, and then the police had to go take all the tickets off all the cars that that were there. So we tried to get another sweeper somewhere, and we couldn't do it. But I mean, Cohoes and Waterville have been very good to us in recent years, and Cohoes was broken down. They were supposed to come, and the guy that comes on that, he knows the whole routine. He does it every year. So fellow from Waterville came over, but the brushes had seen better days. And I mean, literally the guys had to shovel up the tails that were left that were like this wide and this deep. So it was a little bit discouraging, but we'll make it through.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the whirlybirds came down anyways, which they always do right after we do it. So maybe we'll be able to get one, but I think we might have to bite the bullet and hire a company that comes with the driver. And our guys would still lead them around and do all that stuff, and we do it the regular way, but I mean, the other municipalities, they're strapped too. So I think we may have to readjust how we do that. Does anybody have anything for board forum?
No, I was gonna say, so hopefully those people that got ticketed and got removed, they know they got a second chance.
Well,
Exactly.
I put it in our newsletter. I said the only people that benefited this whole thing being canceled were the ones who didn't come out of their house to move their car.
Yeah.
And they got their ticket rescinded. That just doesn't seem fair, you know.
How much is
No.
one of those?
$50.
$50.
No, how much is of the machine to clean the streets?
Oh, no, they're expensive.
Yeah. To buy or to rent?
To buy.
Oh, yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, what's expensive?
Yeah, you're talking probably 125,000.
Probably.
I was gonna say
I would think.
A little more.
Take it out of Chiefs.
You
You got your stop sign. You got your stop sign, you gotta give us something now.
He doesn't get paid for half the stuff he does now, so. And he's the best thing that happened to us in a long time too, so. Nobody has anything for board forum. Our grievance night for property taxes is Tuesday, May 27th from 4 to 8 p.m. right here. As I said, our Memorial Day parade is Thursday at 6 p.m. And the next meeting date is Monday, June 16th. And it'll be at 6:10 or If we have a planning board meeting, it'll be immediately following that. I will not be here next month, so Vic, you're gonna have to run the meeting, okay? Does anybody have anything else? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Did you get a second?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Speak up, will you?
I'm always
All,
quiet.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Thank you very much, everybody.